Konnichiwa, minasan! In this lesson, we're going to talk about the three types of verb groups and the basic verb conjugations, the present verb conjugations, the present tense verb conjugations. Okay, so the three kinds of verbs in Japanese, if you have not yet been introduced to this, I will introduce them to you. They are the Ru-verbs, the u-verbs, and the irregular verbs. So why it is important to know what the different groups of verbs are? It is because they follow the different set of rules of conjugation. So these groups have different set of rules that they follow when they are conjugated. And you will see that if you are already studying the advanced conjugation of the verbs. The first is we have the Ru-verbs. The Ru-verbs. So in Ru-verbs, it is the base which ends with either E or I plus the suffix ru. For example, taberu, to eat, taberu. Here as you can see, the base of taberu is tabe, and it is ending with the vowel E plus ru. So here, taberu. If you conjugate taberu, you will always find that tabe is retained, and the ru is always syllable that is removed and conjugated, or the suffix ru. Here we have neru, to sleep. As you can see in neru, the base is ne, and then plus the suffix ru. So if you remove ru, you can conjugate it. You will leave only the base ne. Here, as you can see, the base ends with letter E, with the vowel E. With okiru, it's the same. The base is oki, and the base ends with letter I, so it is a Ru-verb plus ru. To get up, okiru. Next, we have miru, to see. So here the base is mi, and it ends with letter I, miru, to see. Then we have the u-verbs. U-verbs are verbs that are made of consonant final base plus u. So what does it mean? For example, in nomu, the consonant final base is, of course, consonant. The base of the verb is consonant, letter M, plus the u sound. So nomu. We have next yomu, to read, yomu. Then hanasu, to speak, hanasu. Then kiku, to listen, to ask, kiku. Then iku, to go, iku. Kaeru, although kaeru is ending with ru, it is actually an u-verb, and its final base is a consonant, the R, the letter R. So it is an u-verb. For the irregular verbs they have their own rules apart from the rules on u-verb and ru-verb. So for example, suru, which means to do, suru, and then kuru. Here we can add suru to a number of words in order to have a complex verb. So for example, benkyo suru. Benkyo suru is the combination of benkyo, which means study or diligence, plus suru. So it literally means study plus to do study, or to study in plain English. And then the present conjugation. Now we were going to conjugate these words in the present form, that is present positive and present negative. So for the Ru-verbs, we're going to replace the ru with mas for affirmative and masen for negative. Examples. Taberu, to eat. Taberu, we remove ru in the red highlight. Then we add mas. So it becomes tabemas. To eat. Eating. I am eating, we are eating. In the negative, not eating, he's not eating, I am not eating. Tabemasen. Tabemasen. For sleeping, neru. Neru. The dictionary form here is what you find in dictionary, but also this is used in casual conversation when you are talking to your friends. Instead of using the mas form, which is the polite one, we use the dictionary form, which is the casual. So neru, we remove ru and then we add mas and masen. So nemas, nemasen. I am not sleeping. I do not sleep. Okiru, to get up. Okiru. So we remove ru and then add mas and add masen. Okimas, okimasen. As you can see, we always retain the base form. Okay? Retain the base form. That is the most important thing in Ru-verbs. Then the last one is miru, to see. Mimas, mimasen. Mimas, mimasen. I see, I look. I do not see, I do not look. Next, we have the u-verbs. U-verbs. So the rule here is replace the consonant u with imas or imasen. Imas for affirmative, imasen for negative. So what we do here is we retain the consonant. As you can see in this example, for example, nomu. Here the base form is nom. And here we retain the consonant m when we conjugate. So we will remove the vowel u, change it with imas or imasen. For example, nomu, nomimas, nomimasen. See, the letter m is retained. So here, letter u, we go up to the ladder, as so to speak. A, I, U, E, O. So imas, imasen is letter I. So we go up. Ni, mimas. Next, we have yomu. In yomu, of course, the consonant, the final consonant is M. So here we retain also the letter M and change it to letter I. Yomu. Yomimas, yomimasen. See, the letter M is retained. Yomimas, yomimasen. Same with hanasu, hanasu, to speak. In the table, if you have learned already, sa, shi, su, se, so. So instead of si, of course, the Japanese don't have si, we change it to shi. So from hanasu becomes hanashimasu, hanashimasu, and then hanashimasen, hanashimasen for negative. Then kiku, to ask, to listen. Kiku. In kiku, the final consonant is K. So we retain the K and change the U to letter I. So of course, the hiragana changes. So kiku, kikimasu, kikimasu. And then kikimasen, kikimasen. Next, iku. Of course, the letter K again is retained. So iku, ikimasu. To go, I go. Ikimasen, I do not go. I don't go. There. I hope you are getting it with all these highlights. Then we have the kaeru. Again, although it ends with ru, it is actually an u-verb. So, kaeru follows the conjugation, the rule on u-verb. Here, we remove u. We retain r, the base form, and then we change it to imas and imasen. So, what happens here is kaerimas, kaerimasen. The letter R, the consonant R, is retained. So, kaerimas, I return. Kaerimasen, I don't return. It is wrong to say miimas or miimasen. That is wrong. Okay, remember? Remember that. For irregular verbs, kuru and suru, we replace the uru with imas or imasen. And again, we retain the consonant S and K. So here, we go up the ladder again. But we retain the consonant. So here, in suru, to do, sa, shi, su, se, so. Su, she is changed to shimas and shimasen for negative. Shimas, don't do shimasen. Shimas, do, shimasen, don't. So for example, benkyo suru, benkyo shimasu, benkyo shimasu. I am studying, or I study. Then benkyo shimasen, I do not study. For kuru, again, we retain the K and change uru with imas or imasen. So what happens is kimas, kimasen, to come, don't come. Kimas, kimasen. Okay, so we recap the lesson. We have three groups of verbs in Japanese: the Ru-verbs, the u-verbs, and the irregular verbs. These verbs have different set of rules on conjugation. So we remember to which group a verb belongs to in order to conjugate the verbs properly. But in this lesson, we tackled some of the rules on conjugation. For example, in aru or oru, it is definitely an u-verb. Even though aru or oru ends with ru. In uru, it can either be an irregular or u-verb. Uru. So suru, kuru. Iru or eru, they are most likely to be ru-verb. But also take note of exceptions to the rule. Maybe there are some that I have not yet tackled, some that I miss. So take note of exceptions when you learn Japanese verb conjugations. Okay, thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something useful today. And if you like my video, please comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. I will be posting more videos on grammar, Japanese grammar, in the near future. Mita kurete, arigato. Mata aimashou.